Hey, how you guys doing? It's the producer from Brothers Comics. Welcome to the Marvel Hacks, Season 12, Episode 4 of the Marvel Hacks, as we are continuing our walk through the Teen Titans, the Judas Contract from 1984, Marv Wolfman, George Perez on pencils. We are actually into the Judas Contract finally. It took us a couple of issues to get there. Last week we did issue 1. To recap, Tara's a spy. They told y'all that 2 issues
She's
before that. If you really weren't paying, trade if you weren't paying attention or whatever. And she's been reporting back to Slade everything with this little click for the camera that she had with these black and white contacts or whatever. So we're going to get into that. And Slade and them were at the end of the issue were headed to do their attack on Titan. Real quick, did y'all watch that manga anime Attack on Titan? Do y'all watch that?
Watched the first season, then it got kind of crazy, really crazy after that. So. Yeah,
I've never seen it, but it looks weird as hell.
Oh, it is.
The first season is weird
and graphic.
Wait a minute, hold up.
I was just about to say.
The producer is actually talking about anime.
It is an anime,
right?
Let me get a 20.
Ain't Star Avengers or nothing.
Let me get a 20. I didn't watch it. I'm saying I saw like shit on Twitter about it. I didn't watch it. Come on, son. You know better than that.
Of course, I'm about to say.
Come on, son. Anyway, before we get into all that, let's introduce everybody. On the line, it's the Sandman. Sandman, say what's happening.
What's up, DC Hacks? What's going on?
Yes, that's right. The DC Hacks. We've gotten into that as we're walking through these books. Also, it's Brother Blood, man. What's happening? The other Brother Blood this week.
Welcome back.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I didn't want to be confused with that jobber who went down last week. So
he was a 1.5 priority.
Enhancement talent.
Yeah, there you go. Also on the line is Big Hutch, man. What's going on? What secret identity?
Right. Well, we're about to get into that.
Yeah, if we're on Watch the Pod, you'll see us all rolling around here. We're really about to get into part 3, which is Betrayal, where we're going to get a chance to see what happened to the Titans after all of this betrayal by Tara. And then we're going to get into Captain America's origin story in the next let me give y'all a real quick, and even the guys might not necessarily know this about my process for getting through these books as the producer of this thing. So, all right, so we set what we're going to read. So I just find what we're going to read, and I just read it the first time. I don't do anything other than just read the book, especially if it's something I've never read before like this. I don't want any, try to not to put any notes or anything in my head. I'll read it. Then I'll step away from it for a day or two. Then I'll come back to it, and then I'll mine it for content. Oh, let me get in my notes, mine it for my jokes or whatever, and then go through it or whatever. Like, that's the whole process. Okay. So as I'm going through this on the second time, I'm like, where's my jokes? Because the second issue is really just like, you
can only make a Peggy Carter joke so many times.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, there's maybe a 2 of those in there, but I'm just saying, it was just, I don't know. We'll get into it. Let's just jump into this. Betrayal, whatever. Wrestling term. It's a jump start. Fuck you, Hulk Hogan. Slade pops through the window and he attacks Robin while he's at his desk doing some, I don't know what the fuck he was doing there. Yeah, he drops in and they get into
some word processing, I believe.
I think that might be some typewriting, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm straight
well, actually, you're jumping ahead. One of my notes says, let's check out his desk and what's on it. Telephone. That's a kid's
old school telephone.
That's a telephone. It doesn't have a wire going into a wall or anything, but that's just me being picky. He has his name on his desk, a name plate. That's interesting.
Last name.
Yeah, well, but that's a typewriter for sure.
He's got some candid photography on there.
Yeah, that's right. What's that other picture that's not Corey? What is that? It looks like Gambit, honestly.
Yeah, it looks like Sylvester Stallone, actually. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, something like that, little coffee cup, whatever. All right. So anyway, Slade bumps in, and and it's this whole thing about how there's so many thought boxes in this book. This is like Claremont-esque. Like, how does he know my name? What is all this types of thing? Like all this types of shit. And so they get into this fight that's it's purely a comic book fight. Anything out of note that y'all see from this? I got notes, but what do y'all see?
Well, straight to the action. You want to see booming and we're in. So
no, it's a definite jump start for wrestling. Hutch, what do you see? Go ahead.
I see first off, if you got some money, you might want to put a little bit more security and protection on your secret identity and shit. I mean, this is some shit that happens in the Edo Gate. I mean, you white, man. Where's the security? Where's the
Hold up.
bars or something?
That's fair. That's fair. Brother Peebles, what do you see?
Well, they certainly didn't pitch it as if Dick Grayson had a chance against the Terminator. Like he pretty much, everybody knew there was an ass whooping coming in.
It looks like it's definitely ass whooping week.
He's got some high kicks, which is helpful. There you go. Thank you for putting that up.
And I did note the thought boxes, and it was very much the focused totality of one's psychic blade. But by the end of it, I came to appreciate like they were really selling the detective aspect of Robin and that piece of Robin. So it felt cumbersome, but then as I got through it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. How else would you kind of bring this out of him?
He wouldn't be talking to himself, right?
Yeah.
I understand. All right, I have one, like two America's jokes here. All right, so before he kicks him out the window, and freaking Scooby-Doo kicks him out the window, or asks for it or whatever, he throws him into the wall. All right, so there's the TV there, and it looks like a VCR, probably an MCS, VCR on top of that. But my thought was, all right, so two Americas, raise your hand if your family had the big TV with a little TV on top of it, because the big TV didn't work anymore.
That's awful. Hey.
I'm just saying.
Later on, we did.
I'm just saying there was the big TV that didn't work no more, so you had a
big
TV on top of it.
Put the little TV on top.
Yeah, I'm just saying that may be a two. Does that happen in the other? Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay,
not that I'm aware of.
That might be an exclusive black thing. So Kapayow, he knocks him out the window, but he asks for it, and he falls out of the window all Robin-y style, and uses a $300 leather jacket. Who's paying for Robin shit? Bruce?
Bruce.
He's supposed to be on his own by now, but I don't know.
Are you kidding?
He's supposed to. He doesn't. I don't think
he's a trust fund baby.
Right. Right.
Fund, baby.
Right. Job for food.
Yeah. Now, I guess there's really no timetable that they tell us what happens here, which is whatever. But also, last issue it was snowing. Now he's out there looking like Fonzie, and people are running marathons in shorts and shit. So, which is it, man? Which is it?
I also like how he's like firing off shots, and everybody's like, "Well, that's peculiar."
Yeah.
Oh, look! Now he's jumping down out of a building on top of that car. Wow, I didn't expect that today.
Didn't see that today.
That's the dangest thing.
He's got a terror. I'm pretty sure he doesn't look like he's part of the police watch either.
No, well, and he's running through there, and he's like, "Hey, what are y'all looking at me like? Shouldn't y'all be looking at him?" Smash shooting people in the fucking park. Like, I think that would be somebody that you would, maybe call the police about. I don't know. Maybe you
like Black Lives Matter is having a one-man rally.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to take out everybody here. So yeah, and Deathstroke's supposed to be a great shot, you would think, especially after they revealed in the next issue he couldn't take out Robin. Like, he had a fairly clear shot there.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even close.
His depth perception, he's only got one eye. He's not a dead shot. He's Deathstroke.
All right, and one eye is covered.
Yeah.
He had some stormtrooper like accuracy there. Not very good.
But
watching this whole ordeal is what we know to be his ex-wife, or coming up here in a little bit.
And Will Ferrell.
He also.
I was gonna say blonde Harley Race.
Yeah, that's a good one too. They're watching this whole ordeal, and like, Slade, he's getting sloppy in his old age, I guess. But also, hold on a second, he's starting to doubt himself. Like maybe terror's gotten to him. Is he getting soft or whatever? Nobody really knows. And so when Robin escapes, he sends his Titan signal. Is that a thing? Like a bat signal or the Fantastic Four flare? Is that what they have?
They have some type of...
Or the Avengers, Avengers assemble.
Yeah, they just have a watch, emergency watch. Yeah.
There was a story in the Teen Titans cartoon. They all had their Teen Titan communicators, and they had given out like 20 of them. And whoever the Doom Patrol, like their enemies had gotten a hold of him and used him to trap him. So it was actually a pretty sweet story.
The Brotherhood.
It was the old general dude, the brain,
the
elastic
monkey,
lady,
Bashir Mashallah,
yeah.
whatever his name is.
Mashallah.
There you go.
Nice.
Right.
Well, Robin goes on a mission to find the Titans. So he's going to go first to Corey and Donna's place, and I'd like to know who's paying for that as well. And I do they live together or they live in the same building? It's not really like kind of made clear.
Not exactly clear. I don't think they do.
Okay.
I think they do live together.
Do they? Okay.
Corey and Donna.
Really?
I think they did live together.
I think they were roommates at one time.
Now the professor, Dorfensmiths is getting that. I think he was moving in. Or they were moving in together.
That's Doofenshirts, I think, from Phineas.
Whatever.
So Corey, they do these little flashbacks as to what takes out each individual Titan, and I got jokes. But Corey gets taken out by an explosive box, so to speak, and she gets taken out. Donna gets taken out by some sulfur and alcohol.
All right. Okay,
let
me go back to all right. So I can maybe Mr. Grayson, if he flips his hair one direction and he puts on some eye covers, he could be a secret identity. How in the fook are you going to be a secret identity and your ass is orange with big ass red hair?
And boobs. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's been kind of hard to hide. Well, remember the colors. Well, the colors aren't invited to Donna's wedding either. So, remember that. That's still a thing.
Right. So Captain Kirk and half of the horny schoolboys would have known her address. You don't need fucking Tara to figure where the hell she is.
That's fair.
Well, but the other side is, you could just make up a country and just tell people she's from there and they wouldn't know any difference.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, never seen anybody with orange skin and big ass red hair. They'd be like, oh, I'm from wherever the fuck I stand. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cool.
I guess that's how they roll.
Yeah, it's New York, people aren't going to blink. I mean, the motherfucker was just shooting shots.
That's right.
By Central Park and nobody even blinked. So
it would be a big deal. No.
Yeah. So Donna, as he goes in there, and this is what Brother Blood was talking about the world's greatest junior teenage detective, Dick, doing all this sniffing and pushing and pointing or whatever to figure out what happened to the Titans. But yeah, she got taken out by some sulfur. And once again, Wonder Girl, fucking useless. She's useless. Actually, I'm sorry, man. She's supposed to be okay. Again, even if she's freaking junior Wonder Woman, you got to be better than getting taken out by sulfur. Come on, man.
Oh, it was ether.
Ether. She wasn't prepared for it. Ugh. Fuck out of here, man.
Well, the Hulk gets taken out he gets taken out a lot by this dumb shit too.
Yeah.
My lungs are so big, I took in too much.
That was awful. Of course, she's questioning herself as the field leader. Yeah, I would be too if I was getting taken out by Ethan.
Hell yeah.
Way to go, Nightcrawler.
Right.
The Nightcrawler era.
The Nightcrawler. Yeah, exactly. Oh, good grief. All right. So she's out. And so then the nigga steals her car. I was like, well,
she don't need it. Damn it.
Well, that's true. I guess. So he steals her car, which I find that was kind of funny or whatever. I don't know. He takes her car. He's being followed. He doesn't know, even though he's the world's greatest second junior detective. Yeah.
Maybe third.
We did miss the first Heater appearance in here though.
The mom, she is smoking them squares. So all right, so there's that, and then he goes to Victor's house. Now I gotta pull that shit up.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. First off, look at him in his outfit. Okay, but secondly, so they put the black man in a chair and shot him with electricity. All right.
And it's
really? This is where we are? Seriously.
And I mean, look at the chair to begin with.
The chair looks like the most uncomfortable fucking
it looks like
yellow ass chair I've ever seen in my life.
Why in the fuck would you sit in an electric chair?
It looks like a baby booster seat without like the lunch table.
There's all kind of things wrong with this.
It looks.
And they, put him in an electric chair. Apparently, they were out of nooses this day.
Oh my God.
I mean, honestly, like seriously, you strapped him into a chair and shot it with electricity.
Yeah,
Well,
take
he
that,
fell
convict.
for
Exactly. But before they could shoot him with electricity, he's talking about his Globetrotter parents, or grandparents that are coming back after. I'm assuming he's reading his telegram again. Google it, kids. My little note here says, "Did you have a favorite Globetrotter?" Since he shot it out there.
There's only, I mean, you can name 4 of them, I think.
Wayne, ain't nobody care about a Globetrotter after 82.
That
might be cutting it close. I understand. Okay, so nobody cared about a Globe. We'll call it 82. Ain't nobody cared about a Globetrotter after 82. So
I think they got to like 88.
Hell to the no.
Nope. They got to them mofos.
I don't even think it was that late.
Early meal.
All right. I remember that was one of the things our father ever took us to do. All right. So you can count them one hand. All right. So yeah, Curly Neal would be my favorite. You know, I know a lot of somebody would say others, but Curly.
I'm gonna say Metal Arc.
Metal Art, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they had their own cartoon.
They had their
on like
Super Globetrotters.
They featured on Scooby Doo too.
They had 2 cartoons.
Yeah, they were on Gilligan's Island too.
And Batman.
They had a run.
Yeah, I mean and it still exists. Just nobody cares. But
well, what?
I was always a Washington Generals guy.
It would be.
Hey, they won like 3 times.
Yeah,
3 times.
They won more than that. Actually,
they did win. All right. So anyway, yeah, and I also have in there that Dick is definitely doing the like Victor's my black friend thing. Like, man, I know him so much, but I don't know anything about him. I don't know shit about him. Didn't know he lived in the ghetto. I just broke the nigga's door down too. Like, wasn't a better way you could get in, detective? You know, but whatever. All right, so
did the door come back together on that 4th panel on the left?
Oh yeah, it is there. Maybe that's towards his bedroom. Maybe, I don't know.
No.
He left his lockpicks in his tunic.
Yeah.
So then he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to Titan Tower. So he gets on the freaking trash barge and heads out there. And again, there's a huge freaking so many thought boxes here. As he's worried about how this happened and who would want to hunt us down and like all these types of shit, man. And then once he gets out there, once he gets out there,
trying to kill you or capture you, whatever.
My note says he gets out there and he sees Tara's big ass turd rock.
I can't tell. Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like.
It does.
That looks like you ate 3 paydays and tried to go to the bathroom. It didn't work. So all right. So yeah, and so Raven is missing too, and then we get this appearance of hey, y'all have been tricked. Tara is the traitor, and Dick is like, what? I don't believe you. And
I believe he said, no, that's not true. That's impossible.
So they go through this, and again, I will be referring to her now as I will be referring to them now as Loris Tyrell and his mother, because
that's blonde Harley Race, man.
Blonde Harley Race.
I like blonde Harley Race. Yeah.
All right, I'll try to remember that.
Somebody, you gotta look. Only like 5 people, and there's 4 of us right here.
Know who Harley Race is?
Harley Race is.
Well, this is for that one special person.
Yeah, man. Again, those are the best jokes that only like 5 people get. So blonde Harley Race and his mom, you've been betrayed by one of your own, and that that's what she goes through to tell this particular story. If you're on Watch the Pod, where we get a chance to see how Tara takes out Raven, and she hits her with the turd rock, and kind of takes her out. But I don't know. That's it. And then that Tara's gone. Like, you don't think you see her for any of the rest of this issue and then into the next one or whatever. And then we're gonna talk about how creepy fucking blonde Harley Race is, because he's creepy.
Yeah,
he is creepy.
He don't talk. That don't help. It's and he's got a really round Charlie Brown head too.
Mutton chops didn't help.
Yeah, the mutton chops. And
he's got a creepy power.
Creepy power.
Looks creepy.
I'm gonna
Mhm.
get up inside you, son. Oh wait, what?
Damn.
That's
Wait,
the
what?
wrong type of pride, sir.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so that moves from there. I don't
Oh,
know.
now we get Beast Boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
now we
God.
get into this. I did put in here that Tara turning on Raven. That's great. A bit of artwork there. Like there's a lot of good stuff there from Perez. All right. So Robin can't fathom that, that Tara's the traitor. She's like, she learned your weaknesses. This is, all your identities. Like, where the hell did you think that came from? And so, I got to check in on Gar, Logan, Beast Boy, Changeling. And he's a creep again. Okay? Think about what this is said here. He's so creepy that the maid is like, damn, I should have become an exotic dancer.
I was just looking at that line. Yeah, it's
I mean, okay. Think about all the creepy shit that a stripper goes through.
Well, I
She
can't.
I don't think I
said,
want to.
that would be better than dealing with freaking Gar, Logan, Beast Boy, Changeling.
Well,
We've seen how he acts around virtually any female.
she didn't take that exotic dancing job.
Apparently not, even though she is definitely dressed potentially like one.
Oh, I mean,
It's not. Yeah, it's great. So yeah, so he comes in. She's brought him all of his fan mail. Yeah, and then he gets taken out like George's fiance on Seinfeld. Word.
That's awful.
That is it. If you haven't watched Seinfeld before, George's fiance dies from licking too many wedding envelopes and dies. That's how she gets taken out. And then George is like, "Oh, you want to go get something to eat?" Because he didn't want to get married. That's classic Seinfeld. But anyway, yeah.
I got something to say.
Awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're at the bottom of the page on page 20 when Terminator calls him a vainglorious dolt.
That's a Magneto. That's a Magneto line. I
thought X-Clan came up with vainglorious. I didn't know that was a real word.
Google it. X-Clan, 1991.
X-Clan, Jesus, an X-Clan reference.
That's a pool.
My God.
Yep, that's a long pool. So all right, so yeah, he gets taken out by Seinfeld style. He doesn't even get a chance to like any fight. He just gets taken out. That's pretty weak.
It would have been a waste of. There'd have been a waste. Shit. So
fine.
He got a fight of 6.
Well, he did just crush Tara last week.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
And she took out Raven. So I mean,
Therefore,
a sneak.
Yeah, exactly. That's
the Bengals beat the Colts, and the Colts beat the Patriots.
Hey,
then
that means we're Super Bowl champs. Yeah, that's
Super Bowl champs.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Twice removed on my mother's side. Twice removed on the AFC side.
Yeah, nice. So they're back there. Robin's like, well, I can't get him. So he took out your friends, right? She's trying to tell him, but he just doesn't know. And Slade,
right?
Yeah.
It's like, they seriously got betrayed. They're all kidnapped. Nope. Yeah. I gotta give him a call. Okay.
So he is so she reveals that Slade is my husband or whatever, and then we get into an epilogue, which is okay. Hive? Hierarchy for International Vengeance and Extermination. Really? That is the most DC shit I have ever read in my life.
Wait a minute. It can't be worse than what MODOK.
Well, I don't even know what MODOK stands for, but I know hierarchy.
Mechanical organism designed only for killing. Or something.
There you go. That's bad too.
And that's why it's a comedy show on Hulu right now.
That's awful. So
I'll never know.
Yeah, exactly. So she goes in there and says that, Hive in their little beehive thing, and Slade is like, the contract is complete. The Teen Titans are yours. And then that's our little epilogue before we get into the next issue. Brother Blood, you said you enjoyed this. I'm probably a little bit more critical. What was so enjoyable about this?
Like I said, I like the reveal of them all getting defeated the way it was sort of mixed in, because I do think like one of the flaws I think in this book is the editing. Like I think they won't, particularly when we get into the second one, they just the stories need to be woven in a little bit better. But this one, with the intermingling of like, am I the first, am I the last, and him walking through the path, emphasizing his detective background, I thought that was all cool. That's what I liked about it.
Okay.
The second one,
We'll get there.
Yeah. Hutch, what do you think about this particular one before we get into part 4? Or 3, I guess.
Like I said, it is pretty much, well, it was started off with action, and then it went to the mystery part, and who in the heck is this crazy woman with the squares and her crazy boyfriend or son / chauffeur, whatever the hell he is.
Yeah, it's a weird relationship.
Creeper.
Right.
Creepy heart of the race. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so who was the worst one to get taken out? All of them.
Starfire.
Well, Garfield, Logan, Changeling, and Beast Boy got
I'm
taken.
gonna go with Cyborg. That motherfucker.
Well, they had to make up a bunch of words to take out Corey.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's all.
But the electric chair was pretty bad.
The electric chair one was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's all bad, but also like, I don't know. I get into this thing like, okay, he's so bad that he had to like go through all these freaking tricks and booty traps to like take them out. Why can't he just, if he's so bad, why don't he just take them out and kick their ass and then do that? You know,
He probably could. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. Why resort to that?
He could take them all out one by one.
He's fought them.
He wanted to truly defeat them.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Not to pull a Jim Cornette, but if you wanted to get him over, you would have him squash them to get him over. You know, have the freaking heel squash the baby face. You show it there so that when they do get a chance to make a comeback, it means something. You know, crushing them off camera doesn't really do anything.
But that's just 50-50 booking.
You're right.
Because they're going to have to get their win right back.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's coming.
I know. All right. Anyway, book 4, There Shall Come a Titan. Oh, what? All right. So pick up.
Which one?
My note here really says, though, like, this is really just a fake ass Captain America origin story. That's basically what this is. They were like, hey, how did Captain America get his powers? Okay.
No, it's like, what if they did give that other dude
exactly.
What if they did give that other dude the serum instead?
Yeah, exactly. What if a dick got this? Yeah, what if an asshole got the super serum? So
shit, Captain America.
So yes,
at the beginning.
Well, but I'm just saying. So she's telling this origin story with this weird ass dude looking at him or whatever. It's really fucking creepy, by the way. And she wants to tell this story, and so Peggy Carter goes back to whatever she goes and tells, and Slade.
I call her Peggy Carter, yo.
It's
because she's Peggy Carter.
Carter looks better than her.
Peggy Carter.
This is straight up Captain America: First Avenger.
This is.
But this is 35 years earlier.
Evil Captain America. Yeah.
At least there was a black officer, I think.
Hey, what?
Huh?
There's a black.
Oh, there he is. How about that?
Deputy Spade is there.
Yes. That's Lieutenant Colonel Spade to you, sir. So it shows Slade in his army training. He's beating everybody's ass. And they're like, wow, this guy's pretty good.
Sir.
And he's pretty good. We're gonna do that. And so he keeps going on his mission. You get the chance to see him do all this army shit. Like I said, he's not like, he doesn't need the super serum because he's already a pretty good soldier at doing that. Any of this army shit look familiar? I mean,
let's see here.
I didn't go through this.
How they do it.
There was -2 hot chicks in green.
Okay. So there's all of that, and then of course she takes a special eye to him because that he's so good. And then of course they're gonna fuck because
that's what else you gonna do.
They're gonna smash.
Exactly. I mean, that's
technical
really what
term is fraternizing, I believe.
Oh, there
would be no fraternization at our installation without authorization because it's a violation.
So stick to mast.
Fraternization.
Yeah. And so You know, we get a chance to see him with 2 eyes, and again, he looks like Captain America. Like, come on, man.
That could be Steve Rogers. You would never know the difference.
This could be as big a ripoff as freaking when Liefeld steals this freaking character idea, you know, from them. So yeah, come on, man. Like, this is all that is. We meet his manservant, Winter Space, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, Winter Green.
Yeah. So, you know, they fuck. Look at that shot with her shooting the guns or whatever. Like, that's exactly how that would happen.
That is bullshit.
Wait a
Come
minute.
on, man. In a skirt, no less.
In a skirt. That's what
Come
really.
on, man.
Don't hate.
I'm not hating.
Ain't nobody hating. I'm just saying it's bullshit.
Skirts.
And heels too, by the way. And heels.
Those are military issues, sir. Those GI.
Because that changes everything. That means they're even less comfortable than regular shoes.
General issue. Or
Yeah. GI.
Yeah, they liked how he left his man out in the field. Like, hey, man, why'd you leave me out in the field? Because you would have been dead. That's how we're supposed to do things, son. It's just like, oh, okay, whatever. And so, yeah, so they fuck and fall in love. Maybe not in that order. And they get married, and then they're going to start this life. He's on missions doing army shit and killing people. And then she's out having babies because, of course, she had to give up her career so he could go out and do that. But anyway, yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he had their first kid. His name Grant Wilson, and then Robin. When I read this, it was like one of those movies where they do the record scratch.
Yeah.
Hold the fuck up. Motherfucker was in the army, but he got all these super reflexes and all this bullshit. How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah.
This Slade
Again,
like,
just,
I bet you,
just very well edited.
Yeah, it's a Slade's like, I bet you wonder how I got here. The freeze frame. So yeah, so something went wrong. This okay, and maybe Marvel does this. I'm being a dick. Okay, a lot of people get some experimental shit in DC and get powers from it. Is that a DC thing? I mean, I know Marvel probably do it.
Comic book thing.
Is that
Yeah,
it?
that's Marvel does that shit too. Yeah, don't believe that. Yeah,
everybody runs into some chemical exposure.
Yeah, the 60s Marvel and their core heroes all are experiment, nuclear.
I have a 250 IQ. Let's go into space and not fucking put no shit on the
experimental ship. Right. We can't fly. We don't know what we're doing, but that's okay.
Right.
Yeah. So he's in the hospital. He comes back like, okay, so whatever experimental thing that they thought was going to save him, you know, turned him into a super soldier. And that's it. And so instead of going back into the army, he decides to, you know, his wife talks him out of it, which is actually exactly what would happen. She talks him out of it and, you know, like, hey, let's live this life. My parents were rich or whatever, you know, he, you know, just becomes this dude, or at least she thinks that he becomes this dude, but he's really, now it's the fucking incredible story. Like, she's living this happy life in the daytime and he's out doing his hero shit, like at night, assassinating, you know, killing people and doing all that kinds of crazy shit. Like, I mean, help me out here. Am I missing something?
Then you watch True Lies?
Only for Jamie Curtis to dance semi-naked.
I watched
that's worth watching that movie.
I watched it for Tia Carrera.
Oh,
she is in there. Yeah.
That's correct. She is in that.
Couldn't watch it for it at that particular time, but
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, what's her name? I can't remember her name right now.
Eliza Dushku.
Yeah, Eliza Dushku's in that, but we didn't watch her for that at that point in time. This is not that podcast. But about 10 years later, though. Anyway, all right. So yeah, so they're having his secret life, and it winds up getting exposed because somebody tries to come and freaking kill her.
Ventilate.
You know, they show up at her house. Is that the hand?
Could be.
I mean, it looks like it.
Universe, but
yeah. I like how they jump in, they cover their faces with their guns as if, you know, whatever. Didn't you have a mask on? But anyway, so they jump in, and she ain't no punk bitch. She takes a nigga out with a book. I mean, that's fucked up.
She should have done that move where she.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would have worked. You know, not for nothing, Brother Blood, but Slade stole your look. saying. Just saying.
Biting.
He is biting. And so
She looked like she got taken out by some ether too.
yeah,
Yeah.
boom. It's the onomatopoeia there. But yeah, so she takes him out, or she gets taken out, and then Slade comes back, and he tries to explain. He has to essentially turn over his porn stash to his wife. Look, where are the rest of them? Anyway, so like, no, this is really what's been going on with my life, and she can't believe it or whatever. And then he comes out in that fucking costume, bruh.
It's a bizarre ass costume.
Yeah, but it's not even the costume. It was just
It kind of is.
Well, it doesn't help. But you didn't believe me. Look, bitch, I'm an assassin. I gotta go put the suit on.
I'm gonna put my booties on.
Hold up, I'll be right back. Come on, man, because that don't look like he could slide that on in like about 30 seconds. That looks like take some time.
Made of unstable molecules.
That's fair. Isn't that chainmail? What's that?
Yeah, that's chainmail. Yeah.
Hold on. What does that protect you from hit points?
No, it doesn't protect your hit points. It gives you an armor class bonus.
Yeah, the underwear outside the armor. I don't understand the point of that.
Wait, what? Hold
Maybe
up.
AC5.
AC5 or +5,
yeah, whatever.
Damn.
Depending on system.
Yeah.
Hold up. I thought if somebody tried to hit me and I had that shit on, that it would.
We're talking about the Marvel game.
No, I'm talking about fucking Dungeons and Dragons.
No, it just reduces the chance of being hit. But if you get hit, that's still your ass.
Right, you still get cranked.
Man, comic books is full of shit too.
And it depends on who's running the game system. You might have to go repair it too. That's so short.
I thought, all right, he did 20 points of damage, but I had on my chainmail, and that was a +5 something. So
that might have been like a secret hustle you were running to keep your character alive under the table, but that's not how the game is.
Hold up, I wasn't a dungeon master.
Yes.
Be like, you take 20 points. All right, I'm good. I got my chainmail on. No, that's not how it works. What?
You still
that's
take
how mine works,
points.
son.
Yeah, you still take 20. Maybe roll a con check too, or edit.
Man, that's bullshit. All right, so
you're keeping us from talking about this gentleman's forehead.
Yeah, well, also,
I mean, 8 head.
Yeah, exactly. It's huge. The Jackal, is that a real villain in the comic books?
In DC, there definitely is a Marvel
up for this.
DC,
yeah, I know.
I think he's from another territory. They brought him in just to do a job.
Yeah, he's gonna be there for 6 weeks and then lose a League town match, and then he's gonna be back. Yeah.
He's gonna go learn a new move.
Yeah, real quick. Knowing what we know about wrestling now from listening to them podcasts, wrestling is fucked up. It was completely fucked up. Like, we're watching this shit like, oh shit, this motherfucker lost his job. He had to leave town. He had to cut his hair. 50 miles down the road, this motherfucker working again. Yeah,
I listened to a podcast on Mike Rotunda. because that's what was like the first team I started getting into was the US Express. It was like 2 hours long. They talked about everything but Mike Rotunda because there ain't nothing to say about Mike Rotunda.
He's IRS.
Oh,
there were so many side topics in that it was disturbing.
Take a side mission on Mike Rotunda. Oh, yeah. Man. Anyway, like was taking a side mission on this book. So anyway, the Jackal attacked his family, and he kidnapped his baby or whatever. And he's saying like, look, I need the secret codes, whatever the secret codes are, I need them. He's like, no, I can't do that, son. That goes against the code of whatever code that he's talking about. He's like, I'm going to kill your kid. And now we see weird ass Loris Tyrell Harley Race as a baby. He could talk. And then before he was a good singer and some shit like that too. Then we sang it. And so Deathstroke makes this determination because he's a killer. I can kill the dudes around him before he can cut my baby's throat. Okay. That's not a good thing.
Father of the Year with Father's Day coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
let's remember some Deathstroke moments.
Yeah, I mean, like seriously. Okay, yeah, he's a good father, but you know what? I think I can kill these dudes before he cut the baby's throat, just in case. So you know, he does do it. He says, no, he was just beginning to cut his throat. Oh, okay. That makes it perfect.
So that, that don't count. Yeah. Just
that's fine. It was just starting to do it. So
he just got a little bit cut.
yeah, exactly. Man, his juggler just got a nick.
Show the bloody knife and everything. Good Lord.
This is bad. And so that prevented him from being able to speak anymore. You know, that's why he's a fucking weird ass mute, Harley Race looking motherfucker. And so Dick's thing is like, so I gather you divorced him after he almost had your kid killed.
Cold Batman like logic.
Yeah, that would definitely think. You know, and she's like, you know, as she was trying to work through it or whatever, she's like, you know, he's gonna be alive if you care. He was like, yeah.
Yeah, you don't really give a fuck.
I tried, you know, it just, you know, it is what it is.
He's alive.
Right. Well, and then she goes, you know, all snapped Lifetime style on him. And, you know, he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, kaplow. And that's how he gets his freaking eye shot out on a domestic violence incident. And my note here says, what's more plausible than Nick Fury losing his eye to a fucking cat?
Lurking.
Just to say.
Awful.
Yeah, you know, I don't hate that movie as much as y'all do, but I hate that moment.
That moment is awful.
So much.
I'm not the biggest fan.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that, but that moment did not help anything at all.
They were thinking.
Yeah, that was to be funny, and it wasn't.
No.
Anyway, so all this information gets Dick moving. Dick is like.
Oh, we haven't got to this part yet.
Yeah, exactly. So Dick is like, well, I'll be right back. It's time for me to become a Titan again. And then he goes through this whole process of how he chose his new name. Obviously this is the first time in the suit, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, this is the first time.
This is the debut.
I remember.
Well, it's a mix of Batman, but then he said, you know, Kal-El, his friend, Superman, taught him about what it means to be a hero. So it's like Batman and Superman. I'm like, seriously, like, but when you see it or whatever, do you see where's the Superman influence?
There are, what was it?
Screech.
Nightwing was a hero in the bottle city of Kandor. That's what the thing linked with Superman was, or something. Nightwing and a sidekick or something. I don't know. It's something to do with that. It was some reaching shit. That's all I remember.
Oh, okay. We'll pull that costume back up there before we get the comic book version.
This is
the modern one.
Updated.
This is the modern one. Yeah, his 80s one is a little
taking
slightly
yellow. Yeah, so pull up this, you know, reveal here. And he's like, oh, and Corey loved me too, whatever. And it's just like, man, just put on the suit. And then he debuts, and then this motherfucker is like, oh yeah, I'm Jericho too.
And let's go to the Renfest.
Yeah.
This was hysterical because, like, this is what he did to Kid Flash in the first part of this, right? Kid Flash was like, all right, everybody, I'm leaving. Robin's like, yeah, me too. Damn, this was my retirement party. And now he strolls down the steps. I'm a hero, bitch.
Yeah.
Jericho's like, what's up? I just won the North American heavyweight title. What do you think about that?
Yeah, he did just propose at somebody else's wedding. Yeah, I mean, okay, so look at that suit. Okay, the collar is obviously ridiculous. Well, both of them really, but let's start with Nightwing. The collar is ridiculous.
The bird feathers is unnecessary.
Well, it looks like he has eyes above his dick too.
Like
the better too.
Yeah, it's like, man, yeah, like suck it. Like, look, let these things point towards my dick. But it's very 80s, I guess is what you would call it.
Very 80s.
Open
plunging
chest.
neckline.
Yeah,
accentuate his bosom.
Yeah.
What's with the bracelets?
Yeah, he's got the Batman shit in there.
He's got some 3D gadgets in there.
Yeah.
He's got gadgets. Okay.
I like the mask thing though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the 80s, you know.
I mean, I like the Nightwing character in general. Like, you know, I like him as
Robin.
It was a whole lot better. It was an improvement from Robin. Let's
Oh,
face
of
facts.
course, yeah, no, for sure.
He had to get rid of that shit. You know what I
You
mean?
put on
And-
pants.
Yeah, well, they they handled the character, at least in the cartoons and DC movies, very well. You know, like, I mean, they obviously they have him ranked below Batman, but he's no like kind of,
Slouch.
you know, yeah, he's no sidekick in that regard. He can handle himself on his own, you know, which I think is really cool. You know,
He
and
becomes Batman at some point.
Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
what happened to Bruce, but yeah.
But
Yeah,
he can't be Terminator by himself, dude.
Yeah,
No.
that's a whole nother.
Well,
thing,
and
too.
that is a whole thing because actually Batman isn't supposed to be able to either, but
Well,
that's another debate.
and we've had the conversation too about why is Slade Teen Titans villain, and he seems like he's tailor made to be a Batman villain. But anyway, all right. So then Jericho is there. His costume is terrible.
Yes.
Terrible. Like terrible.
Puffy sleeves, first of all.
Capes.
Yeah.
No capes. He
No
does
cape.
have his championship belt on, as brother. It's not good. And that's the funny thing is like, oh wait,
Funny thing.
well, this is Teen Titan business. We're like, no, you're gonna take my fucking bastard with you too. Wait, what? No, I'm not doing that. Like, yeah. And then he uses his green-eyed bandit powers, you know, on him, and then he, you know, shows his powers and he goes up inside of him, literally, and takes over his body.
No, they changed his, they
Did they
modernized him up a
update
little
him?
bit.
They had to. There's just no way. That kid gets beat up at school every day.
And he
No
can't
way.
say shit to the principal either.
Oh, that nigga ain't taking a shit in school in years because he would not go to the bathroom. There's just no way he's not gonna make it out. So not alive. Okay. Well, and then they do something that I'm like, how did this get by? Maybe before the copyrights come. And he's like, oh yeah, he's a mutant. Oh, word?
Oh yeah.
There are mutants in DC, but
Mm,
it's a lot different.
yeah. I like when he gets inside his power. He's like, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Like, really? That's the thing. That's your move there? You're gonna get up inside me and make me punch myself in the face?
It worked.
So yeah, and so, you know, again, this just becomes a Super Friends moment. Like, well, you know, you really got up inside me and made me punch myself. Cool. Let's team up together.
Yeah.
Wonder Twin powers activate. Oh, he can't speak, but
I like the line where he's like, yeah, you know, I hear you mutants, huh? I hear you guys aren't half bad. That seemed like a shot.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
shot.
definitely a shot.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So they get into their ship and she hits a heater. And then that's really it, and then that's the end of the issue. I mean, again, my issue with the idea of having a Slade story isn't having a Slade origin story. It doesn't make sense in the order of the books that we're going about here. Like, that was the part. Like, of course, you know, we want to know about Slade's history. I'm assuming this is the first time it's been told. I'm assuming this is the first reveal of Jericho as his son. So if you have the original of these books, it's probably worth a little bit of money. But it's just like the order just didn't make any sense to me. Like, you're coming off this thing where you made this reveal that Tara did whatever she did, and then you see her in one flashback sequence, and then you don't see her again. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. And then you don't really even get Slade in this issue except for his origin story. It's like, wow, he's a badass. He took out all these people. Yeah, let's not put him in the book for an issue.
Well, they had to, give Nightwing, some type of history on why this dude is whooping their ass all over the damn city,
right,
and chasing him down and everything. So now we know that he is a kind of a human being. He could be Captain America. Yeah. So now he's got some weaknesses, or at least some things about him.
Yeah, they've been fighting Terminator since Teen Titans almost number 1. I think it was number 2 he actually debuted. And so this is like the first definitive origin story or anything that they reveal about him is in this book. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't have minded it at all if they had just substituted this for that awful Brother Blood shit. It would have been more appropriate in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's just the order, I guess, is the part that bothered me the most.
It was too long and too detailed.
It's very long.
Yeah, we went way into it.
Page killer.
Well, I mean, and that's fine, but I don't know. And then when you get into the final book or whatever, it's bad ordering of books or pacing, whatever you want to call it.
The editing is not great.
Yeah, it's not great. So when he debuts as Nightwing, is this like when Spider-Man was in a black costume on Secret Wars? Like, is this a big deal? Like, oh shit, Nightwing? Because again, I was not reading this.
No, ain't nobody jobbing for Nightwing.
No, not really. It is a big deal because he dropped Robin, and
Right.
everybody knows who Robin is, even though he's sorry as hell. But is him changing his identity was kind of a deal.
Yeah,
A big deal. It was a deal.
I always thought of it more as like they're trying to tell these stories, but there's just this inescapable cartoon hokiness of the Robin character.
There you go.
So much like, baggage because of him being one of the inappropriately teen sidekicks on the Super Friends cartoon. So I think they were, they almost had to do something to just kind of erase that legacy and try and kind of bring him into his own.
Yeah.
I think also the other part of it too was him kind of separating from Batman, but I think that's kind of a farce. I mean, he's always going to be part of that universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a Disney character taking an adult role in a movie, not a porn movie, but not a porn movie, but like like I'm gonna take this role that's completely far away from anything related to Disney, so I can kind of establish myself as a serious actor or actress, and I get that.
Song.
Yeah.
Zendaya?
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
She's doing that Euphoria. Oh.
I didn't watch it, but I understand what you're saying. But yes, it is that same kind of situation, and some people go too far with that. But like, I think this was just a natural evolution. It seemed, to me, and again, I haven't read all these books. To me, getting him out of that costume is a big deal. But also, I think just maybe making characters that aren't like the junior versions of people. That might have helped too, because Robin made him like the junior version of Batman, but Nightwing, even though it's still associated, it made it a little bit better. Cyborg isn't associated with those like in that regard, but when you have Kid Flash and those types of things, it makes it seem like it's just the teenage Justice League, which is, I'm sure that's what they were going for, but that shit has a shelf life in terms of how much people can get into it. So I don't know. So there you go. Look at that. And there's your boy.
That's Damian Wayne, ain't it?
Yep. So you go completely to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
For Robin, completely. So, all right. So there's only one issue left in this whole fiasco.
Just knock it off and get it over with, Daddy.
I haven't read it. I haven't read it. I need to read it. I need to read the whole. Yeah, I know. I need to read it once and then go back and mine it for jokes. But
yeah,
to make that Terra-sized payday while you.
Yeah, there you go. I can't. I'm not hating it. I'm just, those two issues did not help me in any way, shape, or form. The first one I didn't hate as much, but I didn't like it as much as y'all did. But that second one, I'm like, why are we doing this in the middle of this damn story? It makes no sense. So, all right. Oh, we got to introduce Jericho. And again, I told y'all this last week. I feel very safe to certain that motherfucker sucks, and he has no real carbon footprint in the DC universe at this point in time. Would that be fair? Is there a Jericho show on the CW?
He kind of, I think he has some moments.
In what?
in DC, in the Titans, he has some moments.
This is it, basically. I mean, he continued in the book for a while, and
was it
after that? I don't remember anything though.
Was it when he beat Tommy Rich after 5 days and got the title back?
Oh, jeez.
Well, in all seriousness, I mean, I think there, I would. This is usually when I say, there's nobody out there who's their favorite hero is a Jericho, but Jericho is one of the few differently abled characters and
Mhm.
people without the power of speech. I'm sure there's identification, and I don't know the degree to which that motivated the introduction of the character. It sucks that he has to wear that outfit and have that hair, and that's the representation for that, those fans.
Yeah.
But there is that's an aspect of it too.
Yeah, and yeah, I hear what you're saying. He sucks. I'm sorry.
You can
I'm
buy
usually
the
open
book for
I'm usually
27 bucks.
the comic book. That's where
This is
the first appearance of Jericho and Nightwing.
right.
That's what I'm
This
saying.
new tag team, hot new tag team, just
yeah,
in the
coming in.
territory.
Yeah, exactly. Neither one of them can talk. They need a manager. Actually, no, it's probably Ricky and Robert. There's freaking Robert might as well have been mute.
Dick Morton and
Yeah, that's awful.
Jericho Gibson.
Yeah, awful. Yeah, anyway, yeah, he couldn't talk anyway. Damn. All right, so one more issue, and then that's our early summer series here as we start to wrap up and get back to some Marvel books. We'll talk about it off air about where we're going from here. But yeah, because I really don't know. To be honest with you, yeah, it'll have to be a conversation about that. Unless there's another DC series that y'all are like, oh, we have to read, and it can't be Crisis of anything.
No, you wouldn't want. You would be so lost trying to read that shit.
Hutch had them original Crisis books. I'm like, man, the art on this is great. I opened that shit. And I was just like,
What's an anti-monitor?
The story was great till it got
to monitor.
Yeah, it was. I was just.
till
I was
the
as lost.
end.
I was as lost with that as chainmail and not getting my hit point. So, yeah. So it can't be that. If you have another DC story, like I'm down. It can't be Crisis. Not that original Crisis. I could not. There's no way. Not smart enough. Not me. So.
I thought you talking about the Identity Crisis.
No, I actually have those books.
Really?
Yeah, I have those. I told y'all my kids were really into DC.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't remember that.
Oh my God, 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh, he's admitting all this stuff.
I told y'all this.
No, I'm sorry. I was not told you.
They were way into
you are ratting yourself out, sir.
They were into DC, and again, because of Justice League Unlimited, and again, those heroes are more 2D. For young kids, you can totally see why they'd be into Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and all those characters. They make sense because they're really not that complicated, or not as complicated, or don't appear to be as complicated. They were way, way into DC. And I have more DC books from when they were younger than I have ever bought in my life. But after that, yeah, now my daughter still reads comic books. My son thinks he's too cool. But yeah.
I heard Sovereign 7's good.
Hey now.
Funny guy.
It's not.
Somebody lied to me.
Yeah, somebody definitely lied to you. Might have been me. It's not. So yeah. Anyway, so let's wrap this up. Maybe you find this podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, rate, review, subscribe. If you're on Watch the Pod, subscribe to the page, leave a message, all those types of things. Yeah, so that's really about it. And we don't do exit music here. So as the X-Men, the animated music plays us out. I'm the producer of this podcast, and I'm signing out. Sandman, go ahead and sign off.
All right, DCites, or whatever the hell you want to call us. We will see you on the next episode.
For sure. Brother Blood, sign out. Oh, now I see Slade's face. I couldn't see it with your head in there.
Yeah, Hutch's head.
All right, now I got you.
The eye.
We'll see you next time.
Hutch, don't get fired, man, because you really tried to on that Bengals
That
podcast.
wasn't fireable offenses.
Yeah, you went off
Brother Blood, there was a slave contract. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
He's trying to tell me he wasn't trying to get fired. There was a slave contract. Don't get fired.
I'm not going to say anything about it.
In context to the Steelers owning the Bengals.
Yeah.
Doing all that Steeler propaganda and shit.
let's steal again. Slave contract. Sign off. Don't get fired.
I said goodbye already.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you for the finale of Judas Contract. Pieces.
Good night.